What's going on, guys? It's the Sneaker Professor, and today we're going to talk about my favorite sneaker to ever release, the Concord 11. And this shoe is so versatile. This is the best, in my opinion, the best shoe of all time. Before we get into a comparison, so we're going to compare the 2018 version, the 2011, and the 2000. I don't have the original 95 version. It's been hard to find it. When I do find it in my size, sometimes it's really beat up, and when I found a DS pair, it's just way too expensive. So these are the three pairs we're going to compare, and I'm going to give you guys a little brief background kind of on the shoe before we actually start, so you guys can kind of get a gist of it and like understand the history of the shoe. So Michael Jordan came back to the league after retirement. He was wearing the Jordan 10s, and Tinker Hatfield, the one who designed basically I think every shoe after the Jordan 2, I think from 3 to 14 and on and stuff, Tinker Hatfield, he wanted to give Michael Jordan a sneaker that is more flexible and durable, because with Michael Jordan, if you play ball, you know, when you cut hard to the right and the left and stuff, your foot, like when your foot goes into the shoe, sometimes it pushes this part of the shoe a little bit, and the Jordan 10s were very stiff kind of with the leather. So he wanted a more of a flexible leather for Jordan to actually like play in, that's more comfortable and doesn't hurt his feet as much. And at the time, he created the Jordan 11. And that's why he did a patent leather around the shoe, because it's a softer material and it's more flexible. So when Jordan did those hard cuts and like when he's running up and down the court, it's a little less firm on his feet. And it's I wouldn't say stretchy compared to like obviously the shoes that we got now are insane. But at the time, this shoe had all the technology you needed, and this was like way ahead of its time. And the patent leather really allowed for Jordan's foot to be kind of like flexible within the shoe, because it's like, you guys can see, it's like, you know, it's not a hard, stiff material. Especially on the originals, they use a very nice thick cut of patent leather, and it was very genuine. It's not like kind of today's that we have that's really trashy, and like some of them aren't even genuine patent leather. And then it's got a mesh upper so his foot could breathe, like your foot could breathe. These are still decent shoes to hoop in. And then you have a leather on the heel where it provides ankle support, and it's a nice leather. And then they have the foam midsole, and then you have the carbon fiber throughout the bottom. So at the time, this was actually a very good shoe to hoop in, the Jordan 11 in general. It was kind of ahead of its time. And it was the first Jordan, or first basketball shoe actually, to have a patent leather on the shoe introduced on the shoe. So this was a very like legendary shoe. And when Michael Jordan wanted to wear these, because this was his favorite model, he said it so many times, the Jordan 11 was his favorite, he wanted to wear these in the playoffs against the Orlando Magic. And Tinker Hatfield and the Jordan brand didn't want him to bring them out yet because they weren't ready to basically release them or introduce them yet. But Jordan went ahead and anyway, he wore these. And the NBA fined him $5 to $10K per game that he wore these because it didn't match the team colors at the time.
I tell you, they say the clothes make the man, his uniform does with the talk. Michael Jordan will be fined tonight, not for bringing 23 out of the rafters, but wearing shoes predominantly white, while his teammates are wearing those predominantly black.
Because he didn't have enough black, and I think red and stuff. So he wore them for the first two games of the 1995 playoffs against the Orlando Magic. And then after that, the next game, he actually wore, I believe it was Penny Hardaway shoes, and he ripped off the labels and stuff. And then the game after, Tinker Hatfield actually created for him the black Concord, which people now know as the Space Jams. And I'll show you guys those. So they introduced to him the black Concords in 95. So Jordan could wear these, and he didn't get fined for wearing these because it had enough black and stuff on it. And at the time, they were called the Black Concords, not the Space Jams. People adapted to the Space Jam name after the actual movie, but this is the 2009 pair, and it had a 45, not a 23 at the back. So that's something that you guys, if you didn't know, now you know. For this release, when Michael Jordan wore the actual Concords, it had a 45 on the back and not a 23. So just like the 2018 release, this technically is the original sneaker, the player edition that Michael Jordan actually wore in the playoffs, the Concord 11 with the 45 on the back. It didn't have a 23. So if you didn't know that, why did the 2018 pair have a 45 on the back? You now know why it had a 45 on the back. Because Michael Jordan was wearing number 45 and he wore this. And people went crazy for these back in the day. Like this shoe, like I can't say if it's sold out everywhere or whatever, but from what I know, the news articles that I read, because I wasn't even born when these released. So I don't really know if they sold out and stuff, but I know they're popular. I know a lot of people love these, and to this day, these are still very, very sought after, very popular. Jordan Brand drops about 1 million of these every year, once a year at Christmas time. So the Jordan 11 is very, 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 very popular. And then Jordan Brand actually released these later on in 1995, the Concord with the 23 on the back in 1995 for the public. And then 1996, the Bread 11s and the Columbia 11s released. And those are the 3 original colorways with the patent leather on it. The Space Jams Black Concords are technically not an original colorway. They first dropped in 2000. They're not really an OG release. They kind of are OG colorway. Like, I'm not gonna go, I don't wanna go back and forth with, anybody on the topic, but they kind of are an original colorway. So now we're gonna get into a little comparison and review kind of thing between the 2018, the 2011, and the 2000 version of the Concords, and you guys can kind of see the differences. Here we have 3 releases of Concords, and we have, this is the 2011 pair, and you can see the patent leather is kind of like a low cut. And then this is the 2018, where it had the high cut, more true to the original. And then we have the 2000 version of the Concords. And this is kind of going to be hard to compare because I only have 2 hands. Patent leather wasn't extremely low on this, but it was a little lower than the original. And these originally dropped, like 2011 is actually the first time like I got the Concords, because I was in high school at the time. That's when I actually got a job, made money, and I was able to buy the Concords. And I remember when the Concords originally released, I believe I was in grade 9 when they actually released, or grade 10 or something, maybe grade 9 when they actually released. And I remember seeing kids come to school with the Concords on, and I'm like, yo, how did you get those? Like, it was mayhem for these. Like, if you guys don't know, people lined up, they started riots. It was insane. Like, this was probably the craziest release that maybe Jordan Brand ever had, the 2011 Concords. I'll show you guys some clips of how crazy it was, even though I did in a previous video, I think. I'll show you some clips and how insane this was.
All the reports of violence that broke out when people rushed to get the newest pair of Air Jordans. A crowd busted through this door in Indiana. And remember, as you're watching these pictures, this is all over shoes.
I'm up here early in the morning. This is a wait line to get these shoes. I was the first person out of everybody that was out here to get these right here.
I got burnt, man. Look, it came all over my face. My mouth is on fire.
Georgia say one mom even left her 2- and 5-year-old children in her car while she went shopping. And officers arrested 3 other people for breaking down the mall door during all the chaos.
So you guys can see how crazy that was. Like this release was like no joke, of the 2011 Concords. Like, it's one of the most classic and sought after shoes of all time, and I personally think it's the best shoe to ever release. And I'm not just talking about basketball or Jordans. I'm saying this is the best shoe to ever drop in history of sneakers. Like, it's such a legendary, timeless shoe, and it's so ahead of its time in technology. You guys can see the differences on the patent leather. The 2000 pair obviously on this side, and it's got really nice cut of patent leather, and then the 2011s is kind of more stiff. It might not even be a genuine patent leather. And then this one, the 2018, is a lot nicer than the 2011, but I'd say the 2000 pair feels the best in terms of like patent leather. Like, honestly, like, I don't know which one I would pick that's my favorite out of all of them. I might go with the 2018 because of that high cut patent leather grew on me. It looks so good. I used to not like it, but now I kind of do. And knowing the history on the 45, like, I think it looks so fire. Like, I kind of like the 23 better, but the history that Jordan actually wore the 45 first, I think kind of draws me towards maybe the 2018 being my favorite of the 3. But I'll show you guys the heels of this sneaker, of each one. So we've obviously got the 2018 on this side, and we've got the 2011 in the middle, and then at this side where you see the yellow at the bottom, so we've got the 2000 pair. And you can see they're all fairly similar in terms of like build and whatever, but you can see the 2018 patent leather height is a lot higher than the other 2, and then obviously we've got the 45 instead of the 23 on both of these models. And when it comes to the bottoms of the shoe, the 2018 obviously is very icy. 2011, this is dead stock, never worn, and you can see the yellowing around the pods, and it's starting to kind of get into the actual like sneaker a little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to put my finger on it, but like the yellowing starting to kind of come across the entire icing of the shoe. And then the 2000 pair is completely oxidized, completely yellow, and I kind of like it like that. And when we're looking at the upper of the shoe, I don't know how much you guys can tell on camera, but the upper of the ballistic mesh on this shoe is pretty yellowed along with the rope laces. The 2011 pair is starting to get there in terms of yellowing, but it's still, I would say, fairly white. Like, these have been in a great storage for a while now. And then this pair is basically completely white. I've taken good care of the shoes. I actually just got this pair not too long ago. I ended up selling my 28 Concord when the prices were insane. I'm like, yeah, I don't even need these. But then I really wanted them back and I got it for a great price. And so I'll show you guys the bottoms all together. And I'm trying to do my best to show you guys good detailed looks of the shoes. And you can see the bottoms. The 2018 on the far side on my right side, and then on my left you can see the 2000, and then in the middle you've got the 2011 pair, and you can see the differences through the years. We'll go into the inside of the shoe, the insoles, and we've got the 2018 pair being here, the 2011 in the middle, and the 2000 version on this side. There's Nike Air on the 2018 and the 2000 pair, and then in the middle you've got that Jumpman. And in terms of comfortability, I think this one was a genuine polyurethane insole. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it was a genuine polyurethane insole, which is a lot nicer and more comfy. This is also polyurethane. And then this one, I don't know what this material is, but this is the most uncomfortable, the 2011 version is the most uncomfortable insole ever. And I'll be real, it's so uncomfortable. Like, it's like a hard kind of like terrible, this is terrible craftsmanship. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. 18 pair are both polyurethane. I just checked on the back, and these are insanely comfortable. Like, as comfortable as it will get for a Jordan, obviously. The 2018 pair both came with these Concord color purple inserts, and then the 2011 pair is actually a lot more sparkly. This is the 2011, and then it's the 2018. I don't know how much you guys will even be able to tell, but this one's super glittery, has sparkles on it, looks good. And then this one's not as glittery, not as sparkly in the 2018. In terms of like leather quality on the heel and stuff, I would say the nicest is the 2000 pair by far. Like, this is so soft. Like, I wish you guys could like see, like, you can see how soft this leather is, honestly. Like, this leather is insane on the heel. And then the 2011 pair is just a full grain leather, and it's not nice. Like, this is not, it's so stiff. You can kind of see how stiff it is. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't look bad, but it's very, very stiff. Like, that thing is stiff. It's like hard as a rock. It's like hard to break those in. And then the 2018 pair is actually pretty nice. It's not as nice as the 2000 pair, but it's nice. It's soft. It's way better than the 2011 pair. Honestly, I think, like, you know, the evolution of the Concords, I think like over time they've been, you know, they got it pretty close with the 2018 pair. I feel like they could have did a little bit better on the shape, but this shape compared to the 2011 pair is a lot nicer. And the patent leather cut honestly grew on me on the 2018 pair, how high it is. I think it looks better higher than lower. I know people have their preferences. I grew up in the era of the low cut patent leather from the 2011 or 2010, sorry, with the cool grays up until like 2015. And then they started doing the higher cut with the black Concords, Space Jams, whatever people want to call them, in 2016. I'm very used to this one, and like, I just remember when I was able to get my first pair in high school, like, it felt like it wasn't real. Like, when I got them, I was like so excited. Like, I'm like, no way, I just bought a pair of Concords. And I would wear them to high school, and then eventually I doubled up because I'm like, I got so addicted to sneakers at that time, and I'm like, yo, I have money to buy shoes. Like, I don't got bills to pay. I'm in high school. Like, I can buy a couple shoes. So I bought some shoes. I had so many pairs of Concords over the years, so many 2011 pairs over the years. I have two pairs still of these. I have a worn pair, and then this pair is dead stock. The worn pair I've had since like 2014, 2013, and then the dead stock pair maybe I've had since 2015 or something. I've had these for a while though. They've been sitting on ice for a while, maybe longer even. The Concord just holds so much history for me. And I just think it's an amazing shoe, and people even wear this to like weddings and stuff. Like the Jordan 11 people wear to their weddings, especially the Concords, because it's so easy to match. The patent leather, some people wear it with suits. I always told myself when I get married, I'm wearing the Concord 11s on my wedding day, and I'm not joking about it. So all of these shoes also had different boxes. So the 2000 pair came with a Jordan face box, which a lot of people know and love, and I think it's an amazing box. And then the 2011 pair came with the Jordan pull-out box with the plastic inserts and the carbon fiber tissue paper. And then the 2018 pair came in the original style box that actually released in '95 with the plastic Concord inserts. And I would say the one that had the best box is the 2011 pair. The pull-out box is the nicest box out of all of them, and I think it's the most nostalgic. And I feel like you're kind of getting what you pay for with that, in a sense. Obviously, the material on the 2011 was not that great. It was not good at all. I feel like it's faux leather, like it's not real leather here and on the upper, but the box was amazing. That pull-out box is nice. Yeah, it takes long to, you know, pull out and this and that, whatever, but that was an amazing box. And obviously the Jordan face box is classic, but what the 2000 pair came with that the other two didn't was the retro card. This is the retro card. I don't know if you guys have even seen this before. Many of you have, many of you haven't, but this is the retro card that Jordans used to come with the Jordan box and stuff. This is the retro card that the Concords came with. This is the original retro card that came with this 2000 pair, sorry. This shoe's so legendary. I'm gonna always cop every release of these if I can, obviously. This is my favorite shoe ever, guys. And they're so clean, and I literally just wanted to give you guys like a detailed kind of look at the three of these. And see, I don't know if I missed anything on the Concords and stuff, but yeah, I just want to bring you guys my favorite shoe ever, one of the most legendary shoes ever, and kind of give you guys a little review. And for those who maybe want a cop or just, you know, are interested in the history, I'm going to be talking about a lot of history of Jordans, older Jordans, original models, and stuff like that. And I know nobody asked me, but I know you guys like my jersey, Vince Carter jersey. They just kind of released these not too long ago. Shout out to the special person who got this for me. This jersey's fire as hell. Actually, pause that. There's one thing I have to show you guys. The differences on the shoe. The original that released in 95, the original Concords, and all the 11s that released, the Jumpman was facing away from the 23 on the back, or the 45. Just like this. But on the 2011 pair, the Jumpman's actually facing to the 23, if you guys can see that. And on the 2018, they did it right, where he's facing away from the 45, 23, whatever. So that's another difference with these. And then obviously this had the Jumpman on the inserts, not the Nike Air. That was the last thing. I totally forgot about that. Just wanted to show you guys before I forgot. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'm going to be back with tons of videos. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos so far. Like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, and, you know, give me some feedback. If I'm doing well, give me a thumbs up. If not, then, you know, let me know what I can do better. So that's it for this video. Peace, guys.